everybody. It is that time to come on up in the kitchen with Granna and sit down. I'm doing something a little different today, guys. I am back to having that one-on-one conversation, so I'm excited about that. I have someone special in the kitchen with me today, and we're going to have a little conversation. I want to welcome you guys. This is one of my favorite persons, Miss Tameka Pearson.
Thank you, Auntie.
Yes, y'all, this is my niece.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking a lot of healthy stuff. She's constantly checking on me. And T, you all right? And she's sending me cookies and all this stuff. So Miss Mika, you want to first just give the people just a tit bit about Tameka.
Okay, I'm Tameka Pearson. I am, this is my aunt. And my journey started probably about 10 years ago, where unfortunately I got sick. To the point where it was taking over my body. I had fibroids in my uterus, and it was completely just taking over my life, for lack of better words. So that is actually where my journey started for me. So before that, you know, I was into everything, eating everything, drinking everything, just living my life, living a lap of luxury, and it caught up with me. So once I got the diagnosis of needing a hysterectomy, I completely changed my entire life.
Wow.
So now my life is food, healing, eating well, and being well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's amazing how sometimes health will come and knock at the door and say, look, it's time to make some changes. Your body be telling you throughout the time, but you're not paying it any attention.
Correct.
And it takes something really major to hit you before you decide to do, you know, to make some changes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when you started this journey, because you're a vegan, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you started this journey of becoming a vegan, was that hard?
Actually, no. It was a natural progression for me. The year I had my surgery, I ballooned up to my heaviest weight was about 225.
Wow.
And for 5'3", it's very heavy.
Yeah.
I was depressed, anxiety, emotionally just all over the place. And so when my doctor gave me the okay to get the weight off, that's when I made the decisions to start cutting off things that I had control over.
Okay.
So I started cutting out meat. I started cutting out sugar. I started cutting out fast foods, soft drinks, anything that was processed, anything that was not something that I could make was the quickest way that I could get the weight off. And then I just started exercising every day. So my progression to becoming a vegan was it was over years.
Okay.
It wasn't just I woke up one morning and was like, hey, I'm gonna be a vegan today. No. I started cutting out, well, let me back up. I started cutting out the red meat. I was still eating the chicken, the fish, the turkey. And over the years, my diet became more restricted because I started learning more about food. I started learning how it could heal you, how it could help you, how it can change your entire mood, how it could just motivate you to do things, and it would clear your mind. So over the past, I would say 9 to 10 years, this year has been my first full year of being vegan.
Wow. Well, you know, because I know you when you was a little girl.
Yes.
So you know, growing up, you know, we country people.
Yes.
And of course, you know, I'm a little more country than you are.
I'm still there, baby.
So, so you know, we grew up on the hogs, the pigs, the chickens.
Yes.
You know, the cows. You know, we grew up on this stuff.
Yeah.
And back in the day, no one talked to you about healthy food.
No.
Because they were trying to make sure you was full.
Correct.
And you had food on the table. You know, however they had to get it. Fishing, hunting, you know, killing it. You know, however they had to get it. They didn't talk to you about health.
No.
And we as Black people especially didn't really look at health. Like, you know, how this can be affecting my blood pressure. my mental state of mind, weight,
Yes.
being obese, because they look, when you go to the doctor, your doctor tell you obese, you looking like obese. What are you talking about? Because that's the way you was brought up.
Yeah.
So when it came to you changing, your way of eating and changing your meals, how did that affect your family? Because you had to, you have a family.
Yes.
So how did you get them on board?
They either, I went back to what my mama said, when you're hungry, you're going to eat. It was one of those, but it was not hard. Okay. I learned how to I started out making parallel meals.
Okay.
So if the kids were younger, they were younger when I started this journey, so they really didn't have a choice. So they're kind of vegan by way of me, but they still eat meat. So if they wanted spaghetti, I would make 2 separate pots of spaghetti. Their spaghetti with the ground turkey, and then my spaghetti with no meat in it, because at the time I was just learning. Okay. I would make, different soups. If they wanted chili, I would make chili the regular way with the meat in it, and then I would make my chili without. Okay. Greens, I had to relearn to cook.
Yes.
The way that my mom would make it, or my dad, you would drop a little bit of that pork skin in it, or the hog maws, or just put a little something in. I couldn't put that in there, so I had to learn how to recook, everything that I grew up on. So I would start making meals separate. Okay. So I would make the meals that they would love, and then I would make the meals that I wanted to try, or things that I knew that I could get better at. And it started off small. It started off with the dish here. I would perfect that. Then it would start off, okay, I know how to do this. Okay, let me move over here to this dish. So then my cooking repertoire got bigger. Okay. So now I'm able to make a soul food meal, without all of the extra meat, or no meat, excuse me, and without the dairy. Okay. And they eat it.
So you don't do dairy either? Because a lot of people, there's a misconception when it comes to vegan. What you can't eat, what you can't eat. So with that, there's no dairy. I know there's no meat, but there's no dairy either.
Correct.
So you don't eat eggs?
No. No, Auntie.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you keep saying, Tia, I'm gonna have to hook you up and show you some of this stuff, but some things, you know what my hardest thing is gonna be to give up, to try to, and I'm always trying to be healthy. Okay. I really am. But let me ask you this: what about rice?
Rice, I eat red rice. Fix face. I eat red rice. I do eat brown rice. I even eat white rice, but it depends on what rice I get. I will eat black rice, and yellow rice. So there are different variations.
So you just gotta adapt your taste.
Yes. Of what you're accustomed to.
And then, change up. Because a lot of things, when it comes to vegan, I know also it's going to be your seasoning. How does that work? Can you still use those same seasoning, your garlic, your powder, your onion? You can still use those same seasonings, right? Yes.
And I ventured out, now turmeric, now ground mustard seeds, now, fresh thyme, fresh parsley, fresh oregano, mint, and also just going in your spice rack and pulling those spices out from the back, and actually using them. Of course you're going to use your regular salt and pepper, that's always our go-to, but using those other spices to kind of help bring back those childhood tastes.
Okay, because like I said, if you put enough seasoning on something, then people gonna eat it. You season it up enough. That's how you get around. When I used to get around my kids, a lot of stuff they want to eat. So I would put all the seasoning on it. By the time they start eating, they be like, "Mom, what did? Oh, that's some stuff." They be looking at me like, but you done already ate it now. So it's just that like I said, growing up, it's a habit. You have to break those habits.
Yes,
it's really hard breaking those habits. Now, how do you do? Because you're so busy, you got a lot going on too. You got a lot of hats on too.
Yes, I do.
So how do you meal prep, or how do you do that?
Well, I do meal prep. Okay. I meal prep for the home. I meal prep for myself, my husband, and whatever's left over, I do categorize those containers in the refrigerator for the children, so they can pretty much make their own plate throughout the week. If there's something that I need to go out and get, I'll go and get it. I no longer make that big grocery shop list, because a lot of the things that I buy now are fresh. and you have to eat on the spot or the day after.
Yeah.
So I also had to learn how to reshop.
Yeah. I could imagine that would probably be because we're so used to buying stuff that have a long shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, we can put in the freezer, we can buy all this
Yes.
meat and freeze it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And all, you know, if we don't want to get the fresh stuff, we get this canned stuff and freeze it. You know, they got a lot of sodium and
Yes.
it's processed and all
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that you had to do a whole
makeover of
makeover.
my entire schedule, life, routine, and also what my wants, making sure that I'm taking care of my needs. That was the biggest change.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
always what you want, because what I wanted got me into health trouble.
And that's usually what gets us in our troubles
Mhm.
is our wants. I want some ice cream. I
Yes.
want that cheesecake over there.
Mhm.
So that's usually what get us to it. And then I guess, you know, you really have to because I know I've talked to a lot of people
Mhm.
that one minute they tell me they vegan or one minute they tell me they this and they don't stick to it. So
Mhm.
you have to be focused to do this, right?
Yes.
You have to stay focused, and it does take that right mindset
Mhm.
to be on this journey and to stay on this journey, because it's not just a journey, it's a life.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle
Mhm.
that you have to stay on. So being on that lifestyle, you know, what keeps you, what makes you, because I know you don't want to go back to where you were.
Oh, definitely not.
So, so I know you know, you got to have that motivation. You got to
Mhm.
have that focus to
Yes.
stay there. I
Yes.
mean, was it hard to get your family on board, or are they all on board?
They're not on board with the vegan,
Okay.
but they are on board with eating.
Okay. Okay.
So if they want meat, I'll cook it. You know, if they want chicken, if they want a meatloaf, if they want pork chops, whatever, I'll cook it. But the junk in my house, the only thing that has meat in it is the meat. So if they want, you know, the vegetables, it's going to be prepared a certain way. If they want, you know, rice, it's going to be prepared a certain way. So the only thing that is on their plate that has meat in it is the meat.
It's the meat.
Mhm.
Okay, well, you know, you know, and then, you know, they may not even, especially your children, they may not
Mhm.
even realize what you're doing to help them. Because
Mhm.
as they get older, right now, you know, they ain't got to worry about no pounds and all
No.
this kind of stuff.
No.
You know, they running around, they doing their thing, they ain't got to worry about that. But when you start getting a little older,
Mhm.
that's when you got to, you know, kind of work on that.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. When you go down to visit your folks,
Yes.
how that work? 'Cause
Now,
I
you
know
know
your
my
folks.
dad.
I know your folks still cook
You-
them southern country meals.
Oh my gosh, sometimes I have to leave the house, especially when my mama fried that chicken. Because it's something about her way of frying chicken that brings me back to my childhood days. But I have to bring my own food.
Okay.
I have to prep whatever I'm going to eat, whether it's however long I'm going to stay.
Okay.
I'm bringing a cooler or I'm bringing a lunchbox of making sure that I have something, because my mom, she loves me.
Yeah.
But there are some things she's not going
They're
to,
just not going to do.
Yeah.
They're not going to pray.
and that's okay.
And they're not trying to, or you're not trying to force vegan on them.
Oh, no.
Or any of your
No.
family. You know,
No.
they are who they are. They
Mhm.
eat what they want to eat. So when you
Yes.
go there, you're not trying to, you know, well, you don't need to be.
Oh,
eating
no,
this.
no.
Okay.
Because
so-
my thing is, you grown. And I'm not going to tell another person, you know, what they can and cannot eat, or what they should or should not eat, because they're not me and I'm not them.
Absolutely.
You know, my journey is my journey. My journey is because of my health. My journey is because of certain things that I don't want to repeat or I don't want to happen to me.
Right.
So I will not impose that on anyone else.
Right. And sometimes, you know, you got to let people make their own choices.
Absolutely.
When they get ready, even though they may have some health things going on with
Mhm.
them, you know, they just may not be ready to make the changes that they need to make.
Yes.
And that's with anyone, family, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until they get ready, then you got to let them do what they do.
Yes.
And stop, and that's just what it is.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you, Tameka, for coming in the kitchen,
You're most welcome.
putting some little information out there about vegan and healthy and all that. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. Don't forget to go back, show Granna some love, hit that subscribe button. Be kind to everybody you come in contact with. And guys, just have a great day, and I'm going to check you out next time around. Bye.